Hello there. Today I'm lucky enough to be in the city of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, sitting at the bottom of the Hermitage hill, and I'm visiting Domaine Paul Jaboulet. In particular, I'm at their Vineum establishment, which is a restaurant and tasting room right in the heart of the city. And at the moment I'm lucky enough to be tasting a Condrieu. This is the 2022 vintage of Les Grands Amandiers. So this is a wine that is relatively new in Jaboulet's lineup. I think 2009 was the first vintage, and it comes off 3.5 hectares of vines that had been planted by the Jaboulet family back in 1993, 1994, thereabouts. And the idea is that although the company has produced Condrieu before, this is entirely made from fruit from their own vines. Now, over the last 15 years, Jaboulet have been through quite a process of change. In 2006, the long-term family-owned company had been established in the Rhône back in the late 1830s, was actually bought by a Swiss-French property billionaire, Jean-Jacques Frey, and his daughter Caroline Frey, who was a newly qualified enologist, and they took over in January of 2006. So, as part of their project to revitalise this famous old house, they've been improving the winemaking facilities, and they've been investing heavily in the vineyards. Now, all their vineyards are entirely organically farmed. They're buying far less fruit from external sources, so they've got much more control. And as I say, this is a wine that's made entirely from their own vineyards. And it's a small production wine. I don't think there are more than about 5,000 bottles of this particular vintage were made. The wine's 100% Viognier. It comes off fractured granite soils, really a granite gravel with a sandy loess soil in between that. So really friable soil, superb soils for ensuring acidity in the wines. The location for Condrieu is further north than here, near Varennes, and the entire appellation is not more than about 215 hectares. So, very tiny and rare AOC. Now, picking again is done very carefully. In fact, each parcel is picked in trees, so almost as if you were making a sauterne. They're going through, they're picking only the ripe fruit at a particular time and leaving anything else on the vine to come back and be picked at a later stage once it's fully ripened. Picking went on between the 24th of August and the 1st of September in 2022. The bunches were picked into 12 kilogram capacity cages, cagettes, shallow baskets, so that the fruit wouldn't be damaged on its way to the winery at all. The wine was whole bunch pressed to give it a good clean juice, and then beyond that it was allowed to cold settle. So once the process of debourbage was finished, it went predominantly into temperature controlled concrete eggs for fermentation, although a small portion may have fermented in wood. Again, the wine aged in these vessels in the concrete eggs and demi-muid barrels. And I don't know how long it aged for, but I would presume probably for a period of sort of 6 to 8 months, with its fine lees, just sort of the degrading yeasts in there, breaking down, adding about a bit of fatness and richness to the wine that the fruit might not have had otherwise. So looking at it, first of all, we have a wine here that's only 12.5% alcohol. And I always think that's an interesting sign with Viognier, because with Viognier you can either pick at high ripeness and lots of flavour, in which case you risk there being so much alcohol that it rather smothers the perfumes of the wine, or you can pick early and there's a risk that you might not get enough flavour development. Now, I think one of the ways that that's been mitigated here is incredibly low yields. Evidently the rendement for the appellation is just over 40 hectolitres per hectare, and they're saying that yields for this, varying between plot, was somewhere between 15 and 25 hectolitres per hectare. So that's going to give much more concentrated fruit from the outset. So let's have a look at the aromas and see what we make of those. There is a wonderful vibrancy of rich, ripe peach and nectarine fruit, coming through to an almost sort of a riper and yet still juicy apricot note. These are very typical aromas for Condrieu and the variety Viognier. There is perhaps the slightest hint of sea salt as well. So let's have a taste and see what we make of that. The wine's completely dry. There's fresh, fairly lemony acidity, but it's not particularly crisp. It's got more of a mineral. There's a distinct salinity to the mid-palate, and that's almost a result of the concentration of the wine. Given the fact that this is only 12.5% alcohol, there's actually quite a sort of richness and a density to the mid-palate. Again, we're getting that apricot, probably more predominantly peach notes actually, and perhaps a hint of nectarine as well. It's juicy, there's a certain softness to the acidity, yet those slightly saline notes are just sitting underneath, just to enliven the fruit right to the finish. It's got a really lovely length. There's a good concentration of those fruit flavours that's enduring to the very finish there. And it's a very long finish. Now, I did take a look at our Wine Searcher aggregated critics score for this, and it's too early to see any critics scores for the 2022 vintage. However, what I would note, rather than giving a particular score, is that the scores for this particular wine do seem to be increasing regularly, and I think that's a sign of the fact that since Caroline Frey's been involved in the running of this domain, the quality has turned right around, and a famous estate that was once lauded for the high quality of its wines is starting to gain that recognition again. And I think if they keep on making wines of this quality, that's going to be indisputable. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do please press the like button. If you'd like to watch more of these, do please sign up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you can set yourself an alert and you can be warned every time we publish a new video. If you have any comments, please leave those in the comments box below. If you have any friends you think might like to watch the video, do please forward it to them. We'd be very grateful to you for that. I will, of course, as always, leave a link in the notes to the Wine Searcher page for this vintage of this wine on our website, so you can see pricing, availability, any background information we have, and any critics notes once we actually get some of those. So thank you again for joining us, and I do hope you'll manage to take some time and come and join us again in the near future. Thanks again. Bye for now.